Well, thanks very much, Clover. It's great to be joined by my ministerial colleague, Tanya Plibersek, by Clover Moore, the Lord Mayor of Sydney, and by, most importantly, I think, by Pat Farmer and his extraordinary team. Now, I was there with Premier of Tasmania, Jeremy Rockliff, and Linda Burney when Pat Farmer started this journey more than 3 months ago. 14,000 kilometres around Australia at an average of 80 kilometres a day. An extraordinary effort. Pat Farmer and his team have been raising awareness, talking to people about what this referendum is about, which is about just three things: recognising First Nations people in our founding document, our Constitution. Secondly, giving them a voice, an advisory body to government so that government can listen and so that we can get better results. That is what this referendum is about. A yes vote is a vote to give respect to Indigenous Australians. A yes vote is an opportunity to lift our nation up, to show that we're a confident and mature nation who can come to terms with the fullness and richness of our history. The great privilege that we have of sharing this island continent with the oldest continuous culture on earth. And that is an incredible privilege. And very soon we will have the opportunity to recognise that in our Constitution, as every single former colony in the world has done, is recognise its First Nations people. New Zealand did it in the 19th century. Canada did it in the 20th century. And Australia, I sincerely hope, will do it in the 21st century. And I say this very clearly: if not now, when? 122 years after Federation, it is time. John Howard promised recognition in our Constitution to advance it, and every government since has. We have had a long process leading up to the Uluru Statement from the Heart in 2017. Pat Farmer, I have got to know. Pat Farmer, of course, was the Liberal member for Macarthur and served with distinction during that period. Since then, he's run from the North Pole to the South Pole, and now he's running right around Australia. He is He is indeed an inspiration to all those who are thinking, will I spend an extra Sunday knocking on doors? Will I spend an extra hour making phone calls? Will I go that extra yard to have conversations with my neighbours and friends?
Yes.
Think about this. It's got to be easier than running 14,000 kilometres. And certainly today we'll be running a little bit less than 14,000 kilometres. Tanya and I have caucused on this, and we've come to a very clear position. But this is a positive campaign. It's a positive campaign for yes, and it compares with the no campaign, which is really about everything except for what the question is. They want all these distractions. It's a very clear question. People should read what the question is, to recognise First Nations people through a voice. The clauses which are there are legally sound. They will not interfere with the way that the government operates on a day-to-day basis. A parliament will still be in total control of its destiny. And that's why this is such a gracious offer. And when I arrived here today, like when I arrive different other places as well, what Australians do when they gather here at the steps of the Sydney Opera House at Bennelong Point, when they see someone, what they do is you reach out your hand and you say, hello. It's the way of greeting. It's a gracious offer. And the Uluru Statement is a hand outstretched from the oldest continuous culture on earth. A hand outstretched, and it's asking non-Indigenous Australia to just join with it, in shaking hands, in moving forward together in the spirit of reconciliation. When this is done, people will wonder why it wasn't done before. Just like the apology to the stolen generations, just like Mabo and Wick and native title, people will wonder what the fuss was about, because we will be stronger as a nation when we move forward together. Thank you.